Hi loves! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jhems, and on this video, we are doing another sewing tutorial which is on how to make your book sleeves. So I've got one here, this as well, which is like a fluffy one, and then I've got this, which these are the first two that I made before, and these are the other two that I made recently. So I made a video on how to make this a few days ago. I was able to edit it, and when I was trying to save it, it won't save. So when I checked it online, it says there that it must have been corrupted. So it didn't save. I did everything that I can do. I checked what I can check, and unfortunately it didn't save. So I said I need to make another video, and this time I'm gonna share the same thing with you on how I made this one with quilting and this one without quilting. So what do we need for this project? We need our main fabric, lining, and also a wadding. So I've got here the fabrics that I need. This will be my lining. This is 100% cotton from Boyce's, and then I've got this as my main fabric. This is also cotton, which is, I think I got this from Vinted. This is new bedding when I got this, and this is originally from Dunelm. And then I've got this Wadding, which is 6 ounce. That's how thick it is. Yeah, I got this one from Boyce's as well, and this is 6 ounce, and I think it's only 4.5 pounds. So if you need one, you know where to get it. And then I also have like this fabric here, which is like a fleece. So this is the one. I've already cut them just to save me time. And then I've got this blue, which is what I will use for lining for this white color. I was thinking if it's plain white, it's best to put something that's a bit colorful. So I've got this blue one here, since I've already got pink for the quilted one. And yeah, that's it. Now we only need to check the size of our book, which is I'm gonna show with you. I also want to tell you that since we are closing it with ribbon, I've got this like just a straight line fabric that I will use for the ribbon closure. So this book sleeves doesn't need a pattern. We only need to know the size of our book. So I've got a sample of a book here, and this is what I'm gonna follow. To check the size of our book, what do we need is we need to check the size from this size, from the top, in the middle, and all the way up to here at the bottom in the middle as well. And we're going to do the same thing here. So from here in the middle, all the way until here in the middle. I'm going to check mine. It's 10.5, and this is around 7.5. And then from that, we will add our seam allowance. I'd say I'd add 1 inch from each side. So I've checked the size of my book. It's around 10.5 for this, and then 7.5 for this. So if I'm quilting it, I think I'll add, because you know when we're quilting it, usually the fabric shrinks, or I don't know, it just becomes a bit smaller than the usual because I don't like to iron them. So I'd say with this, because we're gonna put our book like that, so with this I think I'm gonna add 1.5 here and 1.5 here, but here I'll stay with 1 inch and then 1 inch here. So this from 10.5, it will become 13.5, and this will remain to from 7.5, it will be 9.5. This is if we are quilting it. If we're not quilting it, I'll stay with 1 inch on each side. We'll do the quilted one first, and we'll do the one which is not quilted after this. So what we have to do is we need to put our fabric, main fabric, on the wadding so that we can start quilting. So I've quilted my fabric. I think I'm doing better with quilting now. See, it didn't move much. So the trick that I did is I made sure that I clip the corners, this top, this side, and this side. So I've got a bit of extra here. I'm gonna trim the excess now. Okay, so it's already cut and ready. The next thing is I want to share a trick with you. So later on, when we stitch this side, it's gonna be too thick because we've got two waddings. So what we can do is we can trim this wadding. Like example, this is the end bit, this is my fabric, and this is extra wadding. You can trim this, and then later it won't be that thick, because when it's too thick, sometimes it breaks the needle, or sometimes the thread at the bottom gets tangled. If I'm doing projects like this, I usually trim some of this just so that it's not too thick. Just be careful not to cut your fabric. See, later on when we stitch this, it's not gonna be too thick. Or if you want, you can just leave the other one, this wadding, the other side. At least it's just one side that's got wadding. But I think I'm gonna remove this side as well. I don't want to take that risk. I always do this anyway. And this is the same thing that I did with the other projects that I made. If you're not happy to remove that, that's fine as well. That's okay. The next thing is, if you have your label, this is the time for us to add label. I've got my label here. If you want to learn how to make your own labels, please watch my previous video on how to make your own. If you have the materials and the proper printer, it will save you money. So what we have to do is we have to fold this in the middle and then just try to find the middle part of it. I'm gonna snap a bit here of fabric just as a mark where I'm gonna put my label. So I'm gonna put it 2 inches from the top, and then I will stitch it around. So my label is attached now. Yeah. The next thing is we need to prepare the ribbon. So with the ribbon, I've got 2 pieces of 1.5 by 26 inches. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this right sides together, and then I'm just gonna do a straight stitch on the side and on the other side. So this means that this will be sealed, and this I will leave it open because I'm gonna use that to flip it inside out later. So I'm gonna do it on both fabrics. So I'm gonna stitch it now. So I've stitched it. Now just remove your excess thread and then snap a bit of fabric here on top wherein it is sealed, just so that later when we flip it inside out, it's gonna turn out well. Just make sure that you don't cut the stitch. So same thing here, I'm gonna remove the excess thread here and then snap a bit on this corner and then just flip it inside out and then iron it flat so that it looks neat. So again, I've got my main fabric, the ribbon in the middle. So I've attached the one that's open part there. Well, I've just clip it on or put a pin on it for now. And then I put my lining right side facing the main fabric. So example, this is the right side of my lining. It's facing the right side of my main fabric. I'm just gonna stitch this top area so that the lining will be attached with the main fabric, and also the ribbon will be attached as well. So I'm gonna do it. So our lining is attached to the main fabric, including our ribbon. The next thing we have to do is we're gonna match them together. So lining to lining and main fabric to main fabric. And we're gonna stitch it around, and we're gonna leave a gap on the side for us to be able to flip it inside out later. I wanna give you a tip to please, if you can, try to pin your ribbon, because we don't want the ribbon to get caught while we are stitching the surroundings or around our fabric, because I think it happened with me before and I need to like redo it. So I don't want that to happen with you. So what I'm gonna do is and you can clip your ribbon somewhere so that it's secure and it won't get caught while you're stitching. So we're gonna match them together. So I've matched them, the lining to the lining and the main fabric to the main fabric, so they're facing right sides together. Now we just have to stitch around it and leave a gap on the side. I usually leave the gap on the side because I feel like it gives us a cleaner finish. I've seen others who are leaving the gap at the bottom, but I prefer it on the side because I feel like it's really neater when it's on the side. And also with that, you can also add like a little bit of fabric there so that they can clip their pen. I'm gonna share it with you. I'm gonna show it with you. So what I did here with the other one is I've made this thing here wherein they can clip their pen. Example, I've got my pen here. I can clip my pen here, and if I've got my book, I usually like to, write things on it or write something, notes with it. So that is useful for that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stitch around and leave a gap on the side. So I'll start from here and then go all the way here on the side, the bottom, and then until this side. So I'm gonna leave this open, and then I'm gonna use that to flip it inside out later. So I've done mine. Now we just have to cut the corners. This is so that when we flip it inside out, same with the ribbon, when we flip it inside out, it goes smooth. So just trim a bit there, and then do a bit of snap as well. Just make sure that you're not cutting the stitches. Now is the time for us to flip this inside out, and we are nearly done. So I will remove my needle first on that ribbon because if not, there is a big possibility that I'll get caught and I'll bleed. Push the corners and then check if you caught everything, you were able to stitch everything. If everything is fine, if everything has been stitched, the next thing we have to do is we need to seal this opening where we flip it inside out. So as I've told you, I like to put something like this, just a small fabric that I stitch on both ends and hide the seam. This is just 2 inches. I'm gonna fold this in the middle, and then I'll attach it on this upper part of my opening, and then I'll sandwich it. Like this open part will go inside that open area. So I'm just gonna attach it there and include it when I stitch this. So I'm gonna stitch this to close it. It is looking good. So the last and final thing to do is, well, first we need to push this inside the lining. So we need to push the lining inside. And then the last and final thing to do is we just have to do a top stitch here around this so it will look neat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these pins here just so that the lining goes inside, and it will make it look neater if you do this. And then we'll just have to stitch around it. And we're done with the first one. Let's try if my book will fit. It's actually a bit spacious this time because the first time I did it, I only put 1 inch seam allowance on the sides, but I felt like the fabric shrink after quilting it. So if you want it a bit tight, you can just add 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and then 1 inch. But this one's a bit spacious, the one that I did just now. So it's actually a bit roomy. We'll tie a ribbon, and we got our book sleeve, the cute one. So we'll go to the other one wherein we don't need to quilt it. We just need to add a wadding, and this is the fabric that I'm gonna use. This will be a lot easier compared to the one where we quilted because as we know, quilting takes a little bit of time. And by the way, maybe you're thinking, what's the purpose of, trying to do with 2 separate fabrics, front and back, if you can just do it with 1 fabric? So obviously it's not the quilting because you can just get 1 fabric, 1 full fabric and quilt it. I think for me, the purpose of this is if you've got a fabric that's got a pattern wherein it's gonna be flipped upside down when you don't cut it, that will be useful for that. But if you're happy to just get a fabric, full fabric, the size that you need, just 1 cut, it's fine as well. But sometimes we have fabrics wherein they've got like 1 position wherein this will be probably the right side. Sometimes when you fold it, it's gonna be like upside down on this side, the other side. I hope it makes sense. Anyway, so we'll head to the next one now, wherein we've only got one fabric, the main fabric, one for the lining, and we've got some extra fabric for the ribbon. So this size will just be 12.5 by 19. So I just folded this and cut the size that I needed. The next thing we have to do is we need to add our label. I'm gonna add my label and I'm gonna prepare my ribbon. Same thing as I did with the other one, wherein I fold it right side together, stitch those sides, and then flip it inside out. I'll do it on both ribbons. I've added my label. I've got my strap ready. So the same thing, we have to put this in the middle. So the open part of it will go in the middle and then just clip it. And same thing with the other side. So this is my wadding. This will go on the wrong side of the main fabric. So I'll attach this. We'll attach them all together so that it saves us time. Now we need to get our lining, so the right side of the lining will face the right side of the main fabric. So I'm gonna put it down. It's just gonna be like that. And then we'll just clip it again, ready to be stitched. And now we have to stitch this part, the shorter side of the fabrics, so that our lining, our ribbon, our main fabric, and our wadding will be attached with each other. Now your lining, your ribbon, and your main fabric with your wadding should be attached all together, like that, on the shorter length. So what we have to do next is we have to face them lining to lining. So right sides together, lining to lining. I'm gonna clip it. Now the next thing we have to do is we just have to stitch this. So this main fabric and the lining, and then same here, but obviously we need to leave a gap on this side so that we can flip it inside out later. So it's the same thing with the quilted one. We left some, maybe that will be like 4 to 5 inches on this side, whichever you're comfortable with. Let's flip it inside out. This fabric is a bit naughty, so it seems like it didn't match together. This is so cute. I like this than the quilted one. I think it's the choice of fabric when it's not quilted. So if it's not quilted, you just want to put wadding in it, make sure that your fabric has a texture, because as you can see, this one is just padded. It's not quilted, but the fabric is just like straight plain fabric. I mean, there is print with it, but there's no texture, unlike this one. This has got like it's not obvious, but this is like a fleece one. I think another good one with this will be the corduroy. You need to check if everything has been sewn properly, because this is the time for you to redo it if needed. Well, if everything seems fine, we have to seal this opening, stitch it. Now, if you want to do the same thing like what I did with the other one, wherein I put some extra fabric wherein they can put their pen, you can add it as well. I've got extra fabric here. Okay, I think this will be good. I'm gonna use this. I don't want to waste it. So I've got it. Now I'm gonna fold it, and the open part, I'm gonna insert it in between this open fabric, so that when I close or seal this lining, it's gonna go inside it. So it's looking good. Everything should be attached now. Same thing as what we did with the other one. We'll just push the lining inside, and then we'll give a stitch on this upper part so that the lining will be sealed with the main fabric. And it's done! Yes! Look at that. Wait, So this is how it looks like inside. I believe you can also do this like other way around. Like that. Don't know. Does it look any good? Anyway, this is meant to be like this. Wait, we need to show our label. Like that. So let's try our book. It just fits perfectly. That's it. Book lovers, here you go. This one's for you. I love this. I like this. Now, this is the other one that I made previously, and inside it's pink. Now you tell me, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the pink lining or the blue lining? So that's our blue lining. Or do you prefer the quilted one, which is this? The quilted is nice as well. How do you find it, guys? Was it easy? Was it difficult? If you know anybody who needs to watch and learn how to make their own book sleeves, please share this video with them. If this video has been helpful to you, please put a like, subscribe, and comment where are you watching from. And if you have any question, please put it on the comment section down below as well. And I hope I've helped you with something. And I'll see you in the next one, loves. Bye! Thank you!